And I'm, been trying to get to know the area a lot, and I thought that this would be a great way for me to really dive in, as opposed to just, searching the MLS, driving by, that kind of thing. I thought this would be good to get more contact with people, and really just a way where I could give back and realistically manage that.
Thank you very much. Now, have you been able to obtain any information from members or staff about our CPAC committee?
So I did speak with Max and, asked him what was involved, because that was my concern. I just want to make sure that, I don't overcommit. And he said that, it's just as far as he knows the meetings. So I'm comfortable. There's no problem for me to make a monthly meeting. Yeah.
It's been kind of quiet this year, of course, and hopefully the committee will gear in for more exciting things soon.
I would like that.
Okay. Any other commissioners? Any questions? Commissioner George.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to thank you as well for applying. It's a great way to get involved and get to know the community. So
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah, and you're the only applicant, so I presume you'll be appointed. So yeah, definitely be sure to speak with our city attorney so you're familiar, become familiar with the sunshine laws, and get any resources available. Feel free to call on any of the commissioners too. If you have any questions, you can speak to us outside of your meeting. You just can't speak to other board members. Okay. So we're all happy to help nurture your participation here. So
oh, wonderful. Thank you. Okay. I'd like that.
Vice Mayor, any questions?
I'm familiar with the Greensboro area, and welcome.
Thank you.
And thank you for showing your interest. What of your skills do you think that you could bring to the committee the most?
Well, I'm a wonderful team player, number one. So, when there's different sides going on, I have an ability to kind of bring, okay, well, what's the end goal and how do we come together to move forward? So I'll say that because we're a team, right? I'll consider the committee a team. The other thing I think I can bring is marketing skills. I have lots of marketing skills, so if that becomes a thing where we're doing events and things like that, that's something I could definitely bring to the table. Hopefully I have some knowledge to share in regards to sustainability. However, I think this might be something where that's where I'm going to be learning, so I'm open to that. And what other skill would be helpful?
It sounds like you'll be a delightful addition to the committee, sincerely.
Thank you.
Thank you for showing your interest.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Commissioner, any questions?
I would just like to welcome you to the community and thank you for being willing to participate and helping make it an even better place to live. So good luck, and the competition is stiff, so but I think you'd be a great addition to that board.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. Just thank you for applying and wanting to be a part of the community, and welcome to St. Augustine Beach.
Thank you so much. I love it here. I've never felt like that, where I just don't want to leave a place, so it's good to
It'll
feel
get
this way.
even stronger, believe me.
Oh, I see it.
So do you have any questions for us? Any further questions?
Is that correct, where right now it's kind of just getting back into things? So the only thing that's really right now is obviously it'd be great to talk to other commissioners and the Attorney General and try to find out more information and the sunshine rules. Is there anything else I can do to help serve?
Nothing right now. They haven't held meetings in a little while. And
Okay.
Max, do you know when they're going to get back on the agenda?
Thank you, Mayor. This is something I wanted to bring up because I know the chair, I think all the commissioners received an email last month. The chair was trying to call a meeting, And I guess staff had intercepted that and said that it was a violation of sunshine law, and then our city attorney jumped in and said, no, that's not accurate. So there was nothing ever improper, but I do want to send a loud message at this meeting to support our chair, that if the chair feels that there should be a meeting called, that the staff cooperate and try to make sure that happens whatever way possible.
Absolutely.
Great, thank you.
The committee right now, with the way they're organized, needs a lot of help and support, and like to get them more active.
So maybe with a new member coming on board, it'd be a good reason to call a meeting, get everybody to talk about what can be done given the budget limitations, which I think is the reason why, it was kind of put off for a while, plus with COVID, of course, but be a good way to share some ideas. And,
Your ideas are good. All right. Max, they don't have a meeting scheduled, do they?
Oh, of course.
The board secretary, the deputy clerk, did call the members and said, do you want to set up a meeting? Please give me a date. Only 2 responded.
Okay.
And we
well-
can't have a meeting without a quorum.
Right. All right, well, maybe during commissioner comments, Commissioner George,
Okay.
if you have anything to say.
sure, I have some ideas for clarifying policy and procedure
Okay.
on that issue. Thank you.
All right. I'll make a motion to approve Michelle as a member of CPAC.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, you are part of CPAC now and part of St.
Thank
Augustine
you.
Beach.
Thank you so much, Mayor England. Thank you so much, commissioners. Have a great evening.
All right, thank you. Okay. The next item is public comments. Vice Mayor? Anyone from this side of the meeting room want to come up from this side? Mr. Reynolds?
I was going to wait for Mr. Slavin first.
You want to wait for Mr. Slavin? Okay, all right, well then we'll go to this side first. Hello, Mr. Slavin.
Good evening. Ed Slavin, box 3084, cleanupcityofstaugustine.blogspot.com. I want to salute Commissioner Koska for her service, and I want to commend to the Sustainability Advisory Committee that they take up the St. Augustine National Historical Park and National Seashore at their earliest opportunity, and also the issue that y'all have discussed several times now about doing more to honor the people who came here. And we had one civil rights leader almost killed here, almost drowned here in 1964 at the wade-ins at the pier, which deserves a lot more honor and memory than they have right now at that place. Want to commend our former mayor, Andrea Samuels, for seeing the light. She supported Vice President Biden in his race for president, and Joe Biden is now the president-elect. And I'm delighted to say that. I also want to thank the president of the Civic Association for his endorsement of me. He actually sent out emails to people, and he said I was the biggest liberal in St. Johns County. And I got 18,886 votes. That's actually more registered voters than there are in the city of St. Augustine and the city of St. Augustine Beach combined for mosquito control. And I appreciate the president of the Civic Association saying that, but in all good faith, I am mystified as to his attack upon me for being a liberal, as if that were a bad thing. This country was founded by liberals. My father machine gunned Nazis for the right of people to have free speech and free elections and fair governments. And Mr. Jones said in his email that I was opposed to Donald Trump on every single issue, that I opposed Donald Trump on everything. Well, I don't know if that's true, but I'm honored that he said that, but I'm just disgusted that Mr. Jones attacked Commissioner Koska in mailings and emailings, materially false and misleading emails that probably violate one or more state laws. And he said that I was her policy advisor and gave her down the road basically for being bipartisan. This country made a lot of progress back when we were bipartisan, and we're fixing to get that away again. Back in the 70s, when I was interning and working as a low-level staff person in the U.S. Senate for 3 liberal senators, George McGovern and Barry Goldwater were best friends. We need to emphasize civility. And could I make a parliamentary inquiry as to the St. Augustine Beach Civic Association or Uncivil Civic Association, whatever they are? They have to have a permit when they do repairs or modifications of the old city police garage, right? The law in its majesty applies to Sabka, and if they do illegal work, which I understand they might be doing or fixing to, that would be a felony under state law, and perhaps Learned Counsel could advise y'all on that. But as Adlai Stevenson said, as scarce as truth is, the supply seems greater than the demand, and I thank you.
Tom Reynolds, 50 Brigantine Court.
Hello, Mr. Reynolds. Good evening.
Commissioners, I got a couple of things. I hope you've noticed how bad a condition Pope Road is in. I mean, Pope Road, honestly, I don't even think commercial vehicles should be allowed to go down there now. There's parts of the road that are crushed, and the other day when I was behind a truck, I realized it's getting worse and worse. Now, they put out one of those rubber things and they're counting cars. I don't know if you folks know of anything that's going on there, but if not, then, maybe it should start right here. The next time you drive down, look at all the broken parts of it. And really, there is no reason for it. I don't really know if it's the county's responsibility or the city, but whosever responsibility it is, it needs to be taken up by you folks. You're the bosses in charge of the city, and that's the way it is. The other thing is, I hate to really bring it up, but I got that notice, I live in Seaside Villas, and I got that notice they stopped picking up the recycling. And I haven't got an answer back from Seaside Villas yet why the city has stopped picking up the recycling. But I want to tell you the burden that has caused Seaside Villas, and that cost is going to be passed on to us. And we are, Seaside Villas probably has the lowest income people in the city. And that, so to know that, yes, I pay rent $14.20 and I'm paying into the general fund, and to know that my recycling is not being picked up, and I know why and you know why, it's wrong. It should be still picked up. I mean, the amount of plastic that's going into the trash right now is crazy. And on the third note tonight, the election, it's made a statement, I think. It made a statement to return, to civility, decorum, honesty. And that's the way I kind of hope to go. I got to tell you that I'm very happy because I really honestly believe that the authoritarian communist movement has been stopped by the election of Biden. And I truly believe that this country was heading in the wrong direction, still can be a little bit. But, as far as the election, we all need to work better to get along better. Even people we don't get along with or we differ with, we have to all reach out and be nicer. Thank you very much.
Anyone else want to come forward for our public comment? 3 minutes. Now's your chance. All right, well, thank you, everyone. And Mr. Tredick, maybe you could address Pope Road under staff comments later today, or would you like to address it now?
That's up to you, but I can address it now if you'd like.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
It is a county road.
Uh-huh.
I have talked to the county about its poor condition. I'm trying to push that onto their resurfacing list. It's not on it as of yet, at least it wasn't when I talked to them last, but I will continue to push for that to be resurfaced by the county. As for Seaside Villas, we don't do solid waste pickup in Seaside Villas. We had, back when, before we did the non-ad valorem assessment, before we did the changes to the commercial rates, the recycling was paid fully out of the ad valorem taxes, out of the general fund. So it was appropriate, I think, back then to provide that service. At this point, we're moving away from that. We're moving towards either the non-ad valorem or the commercial fee paying for that service. So that was why the commission approved the ordinance changes that stipulated that if you weren't receiving city service for solid waste, we wouldn't do recycling either. And that was approved in the last change of the ordinance.
Okay. Next is opportunity for commissioner comments, and I'll start in case you have any questions. Our Veterans Day video was released. If you had an opportunity, we showed it before the meeting tonight, and it has gotten some attention. It was in the St. Augustine Record, and of course, we are sad that we can't gather together, but we wanted to honor our vets, and so we put together this video, and I think it turned out pretty well. And so it is available on YouTube in case you want to see it. And also, I want to bring up our progress on our holiday season lights, the Light Up the Beach campaign. And is there, Max, do you guys have a presentation on this?
Yes, and
Wouldn't that be under staff comments instead of commissioner comments?
I want to bring it up so you all get a chance to see what's going on, because believe me, I've had my input on this one too.
Okay.
Yes, Mayor and Commissioners, Melinda put together with Patty's help this very nice slide presentation that shows Light Up the Beach. It's coming on the screen right now. Where's our little clicker? Here?
I can just go through when you're
Okay.
ready to go
Yeah.
through slides.
Go ahead.
Ready to play.
Yeah, yeah. Nope.
Talk about them individually.
This shows the proposed decorations. I agree that it's rather faint, but you'll see 2 seahorses, I believe, and a shell or a star on the side of the old City Hall. They will be lit. And they will not be in quite those positions.
Start moving through.
But I don't think we need the time delay. We need to move forward on manually.
Next one.
Yeah. This is showing the pier. You can see the blue, there'll be blue lights around by the railing, the upper railing, that will show the pier up at night.
So we have arranged with the county, they gave us permission, and then we have gotten the lights. Now, who's putting up the lights, the county?
I believe we'll be putting them up.
Okay, all right.
No, the county
The
actually.
county is, I'm sorry. These are dolphins, jumping dolphins, at the entry to Splash Park, from Pier Park.
So these dolphins are animated as well, so you will see them jumping
Jumping.
as the lights are
Okay, go
turned on.
ahead.
They'll go from left to right.
The north entrance to the city at 312, the repeat of the dolphin theme above the city sign, the jumping dolphins. This is our Santa at the south entrance to the city. And this is not quite what we're going to be able to do, but we encourage, or as Melinda will tell you, we would love to have Embassy Suites or some entity like that be able to light up its palm trees. It would be very spectacular. It is a bit above our budget at this point. And if you have any questions, Melinda is here to provide the answers.
And we have distributed some press releases. We have 4 events planned, 2 art walks. night market, and of course, our annual surf illumination. So, Melinda, do you want to give some detail on that?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing really quick. It is hard, I know it's hard to see this, but I actually just got a text from Tom Large. It's unbelievable how bright it is. He said people are stopping and taking pictures now that it's dark. It really is nice. So I'm just going to scroll through. Oops.
And the palm trees will have our normal white sea creatures, but then where the palm trees will be wrapped with colored rope lights.
So you'll have a blue tree, then a white tree, a red tree, a green tree, and so it'll be one singular color, but within the parkettes, it'll be multicolored. Yeah, so the idea is to really celebrate the whole season instead of just the one event on New Year. So we're sort of followed suit with the city, which begins their Nights of Lights on the 14th. So we said the same thing. We knew our lights would be up. So starts on November 14th through, I think, January 17th. And within the season, we are having these events. And so we're kind of partnered with or got together with people who already know what they're doing in this venue. So for example, the art studio, they've done art walks before, so we're working with them to do art walks. The holiday night market on the 12th, I'm working with Julie Olson, who actually does the Wednesday Pier Farmers Market, because she already has vendors. So the idea, again, is to bring people here in a socially responsible way where it's not thousands of people, but it's still a consistent flow. And I think, so this is just one of the things we're doing for the art walks is this is actually a map that we're handing out. So businesses can actually be on this map if they're willing to host an artist, like during the art walk, have somebody on their property, or if they want to do something, maybe Cafe 11 wants to have a band because they have a band. And so we'll put them on our map as a place to visit who's hosting an artist during the art walk. And then, so you can see the front. This is just sort of a mock, obviously. And then that's the flyer that we have for the holiday night market. So that's what we're promoting for that. And I'm happy to answer.
And then Richard Goldman, he's receiving the press releases. We should get a little bit of...
Yep, Richard Goldman. I actually got a phone call from Dave Chatterton, who's out of Old Town Trolleys, and he wants to promote it. He wants to put it on his events page. Again, what they have is the events, but without like specific details, without that sort of catchy paragraph, which we're doing it in stages. But now I'm going to focus on the individual events and really promoting them and explaining what's going to be, what kind of artists we're going to have at the art walk and what's happening at the holiday market in more detail.
And you've advised our businesses. Any feedback from our businesses yet?
I have a list who are just basically calling and saying, yes, I want to have an artist on my property, I want to host somebody.
Okay, and what about the lighting up more lights, any businesses?
I haven't had
Okay.
anybody say anything other than it sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
And, that they're going to talk to their, the owner or whatever, and, because I've been actually doing this by hand delivering it to each business, going into each business. And then we had Paul from the art studio hand out some more people that he also knows personally, and so he went to a few different places. And then next will be our press release. But so far, like I said, everybody that I've heard says great about the colored lights. They're going to do what they can. A lot of these buildings already have white lights that they're just there. They're already attached, and they do those every year. So they're going to try to do something in their bushes or their trees or something around to really embrace the color theme.
Okay.
Yep.
Hope that adds a little joy. So,
Yeah.
thank you for letting me take a little time. I wanted to make sure that we covered this, that all the commissioners got to see this before it got too late. And any questions? Any questions from any of the commissioners?
I don't know if that it's a question so much as an idea, but for the artists that are going to be kind of showcased at each of the businesses, is there any online presence so the people who maybe want to see the artwork but don't want to come physically into the facilities or restaurants or whatever business because of COVID and anything? Has anyone talked about putting that together?
Paul, we talked about that a little bit, like not so much that people wouldn't want to come visit, but if people wanted to see additional, and they do have a website, and so I think he's probably going to put something on there that's going to spotlight the actual artists that are going to be at the 2 Art Walk events.
Okay, and who is it that you said he is going?
His name is Paul Slava.
Oh, yeah.
He's with the art studio.
So that would be a link through the Art Studio website, and would our city website kind of point to that for
Could
further
absolutely,
information?
yeah, our Facebook page, Instagram, everything, yep.
Okay,
Our
and then
social
it would
media.
also highlight, like on the map, the names of the businesses and the locations so people can find?
Right,
Okay, great.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Commissioner, I did attend the Art Studio Friday, and they had wonderful products and a lot of attendance, so I was happy to see that.
Nice.
All right, questions?
I know we allocated some money in the budget for this event. How's that holding up? Are we,
Well, we're not really, I mean, I got a sponsor for the pier lights, so I got the county to approve doing it, and they're actually putting the brackets on and doing it. And then I did get a local business to actually sponsor the cost of the lights. Same with another, I got a sponsor to sponsor the dolphins that you saw, the new things that we're doing. So we got a sponsor for that, so the art studio is sponsoring the cost of the maps that we're doing, so we're not really, yeah, we're doing good in that department.
Now, the cost of the lights has been very reasonable for what was shown to me, so I think very good, and I know Melinda has worked so hard. Of course, it's a chore of joy to do this.
Yes, it is.
It's fun.
It is fun.
All right, well, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'll start at this end. Commissioner Rumwell, comments
No,
tonight?
I'm glad to be back and seeing everybody's face, so ready to, we have a lot ahead of us, and I think the best of St. Augustine Beach is in front of us, so well, I'm glad to be back with you all.
Great. Commissioner George?
Thank you, Mayor. Earlier, we were discussing the CPAC committee. So just to kind of give some direction, I think, to the secretary of that board, I think it would be good if we, encouraged her to take the lead from the chair. If, for instance, in this case, the secretary couldn't get a response from numerous board members, still, I think if the chair were requesting a meeting on a certain date, then it should really be called, in my opinion. Of course, those members are not, commissioners, but we're delegating that purpose of the committee to them, and presumably, the chair would be the one who approves the agendas and also could have authority to call a meeting. I do understand the concerns if people don't show up, but we have retention standards that I think would compel membership by the members of that committee. And as long as there's, actual notice provided, I'm not sure about email or phone or mail or stopping by their home. I know when I was on the planning board, they used to physically deliver by hand the agendas to us on the board. I don't know that they do that here, but certainly those 4 methods of contact are available. I just think we need to give them some direction so that there isn't kind of misunderstanding or either party on either side feeling like, either they did all they could or the other side thinking that maybe they didn't. So.
Okay, so I hear you saying, let's get CPAC going again.
Yeah, I mean, they're volunteers, just, they're in it for their heart, for the community. So I think we need to support that since they're willing to donate their skills and resources to our city.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
Well, I think it just, is there consensus? Do we need anything formal to direct staff in that regard? Max? Okay, wonderful. Oh, let's see. Also, I wanted to see if there's consensus. I'm sure there, would be, but since I'm not the mayor, I always like to bring these things forward. There's a business that would be happy to donate the funds to have a plaque for our chief generated. When he was in service here, he always said, "I don't need a 5-year plaque." But now he's certainly moved on and advanced, and it might be nice for the city seal to follow him on his walls through the future of his career, just to recognize his service over the past years.
Absolutely, yes. And no one objects to that, I assume. Okay.
Okay, wonderful. And that's all I have for now in the interest of time. Thank you, Mayor.
Vice Mayor.
Welcome, Chief Carswell, to your first official meeting as chief.
Thank you.
I would also like to recognize the veterans in our community and across the nation as Veterans Day comes closer. Thank you for your service and dedication, and that is all of the comments that I have.
Okay.
Yes, just a quick update from the VCB. At the last meeting, they installed the new Board of Officers, and most of my comments from that meeting were going to be around the Nights of Lights or our Light Up the Beach. So the comments will be brief. As most people know, they kick off the Nights of Lights downtown this weekend, so I just wanted to put that out there. I did bring up in that meeting what we were doing out here at the beach, and I know that Melinda and you, Mayor, have been in contact with Richard Goldman over at the VCB. What I did want to add is the support that was offered from the business owners downtown. There was such an appetite for the event that occurs downtown every year to broaden its horizons and extend out here to the beach. So it's a very supportive community out there. Very glad to hear that the trolley operators that were in touch with them so that they can also help us promote this. It's a great idea, and hopefully we can continue to build on it. One of the questions, and thus my question about the budget, was if we had funded it at all. So they wanted to make sure if we were going to try and kick this off that there was some funding, and they had some other ideas there. So. But to get the businesses involved. So very supportive community downtown. They didn't look at it as, hey, don't steal our event. It was, we're adding to the event. And they also they pointed out that there's an ordinance downtown that all of the lights have to be white downtown. So they felt that it was refreshing that we were taking the colored theme approach because they can't do that down there. So it's an added element to our event.
Anything you can do, I really appreciate, you talking to them about that. Anything you can do through your representation there that, to get people excited and our businesses here, if you are talking to our businesses here to help us.
I think we can all do that and get the businesses involved. So yeah, it's a good event. Looking forward to participating.
There was a question about fees for the special events, and I think we solved that one, that our businesses will not have to pay any fees, a special event fee for the city-sponsored events that we have put together for our holiday season. Is that correct, Max? Okay, all right, because there were some questions about that. Okay. Okay.
And also, I just remember the chamber, I'm sure you're working with the chamber, but the chamber on that meeting was also very interested in what we were doing and how they could help out.
Oh, wonderful.
Okay. All right. Okay, and if there's no further commissioner comments, we'll keep going on our public hearings. And I don't think Mr. Whitehouse is here yet.
Mr. Whitehouse is not here, so I suggest you go to item number 2,
Okay.
which is Brian Law will do the presentation.
Thank you.
All right, this is a conditional use, number 2020-04, to build a single-family residence in a commercial sector. This is part of a three-prong approach. There was 2 variances for the commercial building to come, and for this house. As we are still in the appeal process, if one comes up, I would advise not getting into great detail on the variances, other than that the Planning and Zoning Board did approve them. The Planning and Zoning Board did recommend 7-0 that this building be allowed to the commission. So what I have on the overhead, I can put up what it's supposed to become. So this is the redistribution of the properties to allow for the transient rental here in parcel 1 to become a commercial business. It's an existing home that underwent a major facelift. It's an attractive building that a local business wants to move their business there. So to do that, they need to comply with the parking code, which is why you see the properties somewhat modified, so we can get the parking down the street. So that leaves the pool in parcel 2 for the single-family residence. So that's what they're proposing. There is an illustration of a house. It will have to be modified. Obviously, these are not official plans. Where were we? Somewhere here. The Planning and Zoning did recommend that, just as every conditional use we've done here follows the medium density guidelines. This is an artistic rendering of what the house would be. Keep in mind, it is a single-family residence in a commercial sector. It's currently about 2.5 to 3 lots in. The lot itself is not viable for a commercial building. The reuse of the existing transient rental to a commercial building is in line with bringing the businesses back to the boulevard. And it would not affect the 100 cap from the medium density sector.
So, it's an existing residence with a facelift.
Yes, ma'am. I don't remember the year, it was before me, but it's an attractive building, and it's right on the corner of 13th Street, on the east side of the boulevard, and it's on the south side of 13th Street.
But it's going to be used as an office.
For a law office, and the applicants are here. They already currently have a business here, south of A Street, on the east side of the boulevard, Gin and Petro Law Office. They're proposing to move to this existing transient rental, convert the building for a commercial application.
But it won't be a mixed use.
No, ma'am.
It's going to be a residence used for commercial purposes in a commercial zone.
Yes, ma'am. It'll be a commercial business in a commercial zone district. It will require modifications to comply with the Florida Building Code for commercial use, but that is the architect and a contractor will handle that.
Okay.
So once again, this proposed house we see is on parcel 2. There is an existing pool.
Okay, and the variances are completely separate from tonight because those are handled by planning and
Those
zoning.
are handled by the planning and zoning, and you have the memo regarding the variances. They were approved. One was for backing the parking directly onto 13th Street, which, as we know, is everywhere in the city, but it still requires a variance or part of a development order. And then there was a variance regarding the property for the proposed dwelling. It was modified from what they requested, but like I said, they still have a week to appeal it, so I wouldn't go into too great of a detail.
Now, if we approve the conditional use permit, if the house is already there and it's going to be used for commercial purposes, explain again why we need a conditional use permit.
All right, this one is the existing building right here. This is currently a transient rental that's going to be
Right.
retrofitted to a commercial building.
Right.
This will not be a single-family residence anymore. It will undergo a
Right.
change of occupancy.
Right,
Parcel 2, there is no building at this time.
okay,
So the conditional use is to construct a single-family residence in line with the medium district zones and all the setbacks that are appropriate and whatever the planning and zoning have approved in their variances. So currently, there's nothing here. That's what that house is.
So in other words, the conditional use application is not to allow the commercial use of a law office in the property. The conditional use application is for the construction of the new structure, which is a single family on the easterly lot.
Yes, ma'am, the commission has no action to take on reorganizing a building from a residence to a commercial, in the commercial zone sector.
Yeah.
It is clearly just for the construction of a single-family residence in the commercial sector.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, any further questions from the commissioners for Mr. Law?
I mean, I do have a question.